Hello, welcome everyone. So today I want to talk a little bit, introduce a little bit to the stochastic volume calculations. Why is this important? Okay, the main idea is that for deterministic codes, for example, the GenFOAM OpenFOAM style, you might need to have this thing called macroscopic cross sections. Okay, and there are two main ways to get that macroscopic cross sections. One is to use this stochastic volume calculations tool. The other is to refer to this multi-group cross sections part 2 tutorial. Now, of course, this one will actually automate everything. Okay, this is under the advanced features. The Jupyter notebook is there. However, over here it has this OpenMC, OpenMOC compatible, and it says this notebook was created using OpenMOC to verify the multi-group cross-sections generated by OpenMC. However, just so I mean, initially you might think that, great, there are no examples and I have to use this stochastic volume calculation, and that's not true. And you don't need this OpenMOC compatible part, at least for the first half of this. Okay, so so these are the things. Okay, if you notice, there's this import. All of these imports are pretty normal, and the matplot inline. Okay, all of these are standard OpenMC stuff. Okay, then you define your materials here in this second cell. Then you do your materials export to XML in your third cell. Then you start working on your geometry and your universes in the 4th, 5th, and 6th cell. Then over here, it's just the tallies and the settings file. Okay, this is a tallies and the settings file. All of these are here. Nothing new about it. And then next is to you have your settings file actually exported. Now you have your tallies file being generated. So they are making in cell number 8 cost groups and fine energy groups. So so this one is this is actually interesting. It's a macro to help you get all the cells that are filled by materials, and then it will create a cross-section library to store all the cross sections for all the cells. Okay, so this is an interesting cross section library. Okay, so I guess that's a new feature. Okay, and this one is to initiate 8 energy group cross sections for each cell. There's nothing with the OpenMOC yet. So all of this stuff is a little more advanced in terms of the tallies and everything. And there are lots of for loops over here to kind of automate things, but all of these here are basically here to do your tallies file. So with a complete set of inputs, you run OpenMC, and it has this k effective blah blah blah. Not interesting. Okay, and then you load this state point. Okay, you load a state point as we normally do, and this one, it's just it loads this cell here is basically to extract data from the state point file, or the state point is the results file basically. And over here in cell 15 and 16, you will have this one's your microscopic, and then here's your macroscopic cross section. Alright, this microscopic cross section is actually run over the nuclides uranium-235 and uranium-238. But usually, if you want to average it over the whole cell, this is very good. You have a macroscopic cross section, and you have the nuclides. You sum it over all nuclides. That makes it very convenient if you want to port it over to a deterministic code. So this is one of the ways you can actually generate your macroscopic cross-section data, which you can then use into your you can just put it straight away into your deterministic code. Okay, or you put it into OpenFOAM or whatever. Okay, so the other way, if you want to really double check your data, is to use this stochastic volume calculations. Okay, there isn't really a tutorial for this. However, if you take a look inside your OpenMC directory, okay, your OpenMC directory is here. Okay, your OpenMC directory is here, where you did your git clone and then you start to build from source and everything. So the way to deal with this is to go to the tests. Okay, change directory to the tests inside your git clone file. You go to the part called unit tests. Okay, and then you see lots of standard tests where they will test the functionality of every single feature in OpenMC. Thankfully there, you will have actually some example code of stochastic volume calculations, and they will be under the geometry test, because this is something to do with geometry. The volume is something to do with geometry. Okay, and this is the code. Okay, most of these you can ignore. All right, this one is it's a OpenMC model and all of that. Okay, it is this test volume is actually done inside a model. Okay, so it's run inside automated code. However, if you want to just look at the stochastic volume calculation, okay, you can just zoom in on these lines here. You can see this volume calc equals to OpenMC volume calculation, blah blah blah. In this case, of course, you actually export it to the model. Okay, export it to the model because you want to reiterate the test over many cycles. So that's why you do it under model. However, if you take a look at you can take a look at where it is exported in the model. You will see that it is exported under settings, volume calculation, and this is one of the volume calculations you perform. Okay, and of course you export to XML. Okay, so a few things you need to do. One is to specify which cell or which domain you want to perform your volume calculation over. So this one is say for domain in C1, U02, and U. Okay, so the domains is actually C1, U02, and U. Okay, and these are the cells and universes that were defined here previously. Okay, so you can run volume calculation for cell, you can run volume calculation for universe. Alright, before I continue, I just want to break the train of thought a little bit. Why are we doing volume calculation? Because there's this thing called volume calculation atom data frame. Okay, this actually shows the stochastic estimates for the number of atoms of each nuclide within the specified domain. Okay, meaning to say you can do a volume calculation, and you can do the number of atom calculation. After that, you have two of these. You can basically do a what do you call that? You have a number density, average number density. All right. So you have the total number of atoms and the total volume. You can get the big N, the number of atoms per unit volume for a cell or for a universe or whatever have you. So this is actually very good because then you save yourself the hassle of calculating, and then you can also use that to multiply and get your macroscopic cross-section estimates. Okay, so that's why this stochastic volume tool is very useful. Okay, so yes, let's see. I wonder if there is this data frame for this test, because I don't seem to be able to see any of that. Okay, I can't remember how to find word in VI. Okay, simply type the / key. Okay, volume. Okay, once found, you can press the N key. Okay, volume. Press the N key. Okay, so press and enter and then keep pressing the N key until you find it. Alright, so here's the next one. Get nuclide densities. You see? Nukes equals to set domain get nuclide densities that rely on the volume information. Okay, so this one is good because you can straight away get your nuclide densities here. Okay, I don't know if I can do it straight, because apparently this is yeah, I think yeah, this domain is actually C1, UO2, and U. Okay, so maybe yeah, after you run your volume calculation, you can straight away get the nuclide densities using a domain, which is your cell or universe, and then you type get nuclide densities. That would solve your problem really quickly, so you don't have to go through exporting and everything. Okay. Yeah, so this is one method we can probably try after loading the results from this volume. Okay, so that's what we kind of want to try. Okay, so this is the rough workflow of this stochastic volume calculations, and let me explain the syntax before we go on any further to try something like real. Okay, so to specify volume calculation, you need to first create an instance of OpenMC volume calculation. So you kind of define the volume calculation, okay, which you will then of course eventually import it into settings. So remember, it's like geometry. You make a shape and then you put it into the geometry, right? You make a universe and then you put it into the geometry. Likewise for this, and all of this you have to store under the settings file, much like where you put your Monte Carlo stuff, source stuff. Okay. Okay, so lower left. Okay, so what inputs do we need to start constructing these volume calculations? Okay, so you'll need to first thing first, tell OpenMC which cell or universe you want to perform your calculation in. Over here it is a fuel, clad, and moderator cells. Okay, and then after that you need to tell OpenMC how many samples do you want to take, because it's going to send particles in and to stochastically calculate volumes. You're not doing analytically but stochastically. And then after that, if your shapes are complicated, you might want to also specify a bounding box for your volume. Okay, specify a bounding box. So these are optional for simple shapes, but if your shapes are too complex, you just for the sake of safety, you might want to put a bounding box. The lower left will contain the minimum z, minimum y, and minimum x values, and likewise the upper right here will be your max x, max y, and max z values. So this is okay. This is how you actually set things up. All right. So for simple shapes like this one, okay, you just need to specify the cell, and OpenMC will automatically do a bounding box for you. But if you want to really control it better, you can use this lower left and upper right kind of a bounding box. Okay. So this volume calc set trigger, it is one of the what do you call it? It's one of the ways you can actually minimize your uncertainty. It's optional, but you can use this to minimize uncertainty. So remember, when we calculate K effective, we have a certain standard deviation. Okay, we have a certain standard deviation. Let's see. Never mind. Let me just run this thing since I can. Okay, remember we have a certain standard deviation. Okay, the standard deviation is this thing over here. All right. So once so the more particles you send in, the lower your standard deviation, because the more certain you are of your data. So generally speaking, it's better to have more particles sent in. So what is this supposed to do? Basically, when you hit a standard deviation of 1 times 10 to the minus 5, for example, then you start calculating your volumes. So that will actually give you a very low-ish uncertainty. Oh, where's my yeah, it will give you a very low-ish uncertainty. So you will keep waiting for this standard deviation to drop, and then you will have then you are able to what do you call that? Get your what do you call that? Oh yes. Then you are able to get your yeah, you will start counting the volumes, the average volumes, of course, after you hit below this standard deviation. All right. So that's roughly what's going on. Okay, so as usual, you will need to put it inside your settings file. To initiate your settings, you start like this: settings equals to OpenMC settings, very much like what you were doing over here. Yeah, settings equals OpenMC settings. So you will actually set a lot of things in settings. For example, how many batches are inactive, how many particles there are, okay, per batch. So another thing you can do is to have a settings.volume attribute. Okay, settings.volume. Okay, so you see a settings.volume calculations. Okay, then you can import. Okay, based on how many volume calculations you are defining, you can actually put it here. Now, which volume calculations you are doing. Okay, so after that, you actually can run OpenMC. All right, to execute volume calculations, there are two ways. One is to change the settings run mode to volume and do OpenMC run. That means you have to change the settings file over here to OpenMC, like, you know, run mode equals to volume calculation. That's what it's saying. You have to do one. Or if you're using the Jupyter notebook, you can just do OpenMC calculate volumes, which doesn't require that settings run mode be set. I personally prefer the second way. It uses the Jupyter notebook interface, and I think it works. Okay, so when your volume calculation is finished, you can load your results using the volume calculation load results method on an existing object. Okay, so if you don't have volume calculation objects, you can create one and load results simultaneously using the volume calculation from HDF5. Okay, so for example, you can do this. This one I think it's okay. Volume calculation equals to OpenMC volume calc from HDF5. Then you have this volume1.h5. So when you run this volume calculation, you'll produce a h5 file, and then you can just extract the volume data using this method. And of course, once you're done, we can of course check whether this method of domain get nuclide densities, does this method work? Okay, does this method work? Because we actually loaded the volume results, and then after that we can actually just compute the nuclide densities after that. Alright, so that's all for this video. Next video then, yes, let's demonstrate some of these methods and get our macroscopic cross sections.